very good morning, all of you. So, my dear students, today's topic is also a continuation of chapter number 2, New Kings and Kingdom from History. And today I will discuss with you two topics. Number one is War for Wealth, and number two is From Uraiyur to Tanjore. My dear students, as I told you in my previous explanation that around the 7th century, a number of great leader, chief, commander and samanthas were interested and keen to increase their power and authority. And anyhow, they had increased their power and called himself Mahamandaleshwar and Maharaja Dhiraj, etc. And always he was interested to expand their boundary or region where they wanted to rule. Alright? And in this topic number 1, War for Wealth, is given that every king and ruler always wanted to increase his area and territory where they were ruled. And same time they also wanted to increase area under his or her control. So around the 7th century, one very famous region was settled in the Ganga Valley that was known as Kannauj. And that time Kannauj was very popular, very big and very great. That's why every ruler wanted to rule over there. And to occupy the region of Kannauj, rulers who belonged to the Gurjar Pratihara dynasty, Rashtrakuta and Pala dynasty fought for control over Kannauj. And these three great dynasties always fighting with each other to control the region of Kannauj. That's why they were famous as three parties and they were known as tripartite struggle. Alright? After that, as I told you that always rulers and kings interested and try to show or demonstrate their power with the help of constructing building and great temples and number of structure to show their power and strength. Alright? So, to occupy the regions and to increase their power and controlling area, always they attacked one and another kingdoms. And often they choose that place for attack which was the famous part of the another kingdom, like temples or any famous building. And that time temple was the center of showing power and richness. Alright? So in this series, one of the famous rulers or sultan, whose name was Mahmud Ghaznavi or Mahmud of Ghazni, who came from Afghanistan, and he ruled from 997 to 1030. And always he was tried to control over the many parts of Central Asia, from the Iran and the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. And he raided or he attacked our Indian subcontinent almost every year from his ruling era. And he always targeted wealthy temples, especially Somnath Temple of Gujarat. Understood? After that, after the attack on the famous temples of India and especially Somnath Temple, when he came back his own country, then he also had taken wealth with himself and formed or constructed a very important and famous capital city at Ghazni. And also, Mahmud Ghazni was very much interested to finding information about the different people and regions of those areas where he attacked or he conquered. That's why he had appointed one scholar whose name was Al-Biruni to write about the conquering area and about his people, especially about India. And whatever information written by Al-Biruni in his writing, that was famous as Kitab al-Hind. And still Kitab al-Hind is a very important source for the historian to collect information about the 7th, 8th and 9th century and era. Alright? And after that, he also consulted one Sanskrit scholars to prepare this account. Alright? So my dear students, as I told you, earlier kings and rulers were engaged and interested in warfare. Then that time, some kings also who engaged in war, they were Chamnas, and later they were known as Chauhans, who ruled over the great region of Delhi and Ajmer. And always Chauhans or Chamnas tried to expand their control to the west and east part of India. But during the expansion of his territory by the Chauhans or Chamnas, they were opposed or trapped by the Chalukyas, who were ruling over the part of Gujarat and the Gadavalas regions of western Uttar Pradesh. But students, in Chauhan dynasty, one ruler whose name was Prithviraj III, who ruled over the region of Delhi and Ajmer from 1168 to 1192. But he was defeated by an Afghan ruler whose name was Sultan Muhammad Ghori in 1191, but lost to him the very next year in 1192. Alright. So students, on the basis of above explanation, you can understand that how different kings and sultan came from other country in India and targeted wealthy temples of India to collect huge wealth and territory and also power. In this way, rulers who were ruling even over Indian subcontinent, they were also attacked one to another to collect a lot of wealth and power in Indian subcontinent also. Alright. After that, I am going to discuss with you second topic from Urayur to Thanjore. As I told you that number of kings were ruled over the Indian subcontinent, in which Chola dynasty was also ruled over the subcontinent. So in this topic, I will discuss with you that how did the Cholas rise to power? So students, Chola family was a chiefly family which was known as the Muttrayar and held power, or he had increased his power near the region of Kaveri Delta. It means Chola Empire or Chola dynasty was a small chief family who was known as Muttrayar in the region of Kaveri, where he or Chola dynasty were ruling. And their power was lower than the Pallava king who were ruling in the area of Kanchipuram. Alright, it means the power of Chola was lower than the power of Pallava king who were ruling over the Kanchipuram. But Vijayala, who belonged to the one ancient chiefly family of Cholas who were ruling over the Urayar, captured the whole part of Kaveri Delta, the Muttrayar, in the middle of the 9th century. It means a one great king whose name was Vijayala. Their family was ruled over only in a small part of Kaveri Delta. But anyhow, middle of 9th century, he had increased his power and captured all the chiefly family or Muttrayar who were ruling around the Kaveri Delta. Alright, it means Vijayala conquered whole Kaveri region and defeated the others chiefly family or Muttrayar. And there Vijayala built a very great temple for goddess Nishumbha Sudini in the town of Tanjore. Alright. After the death of Vijayala, his successor or his son conquered other neighboring regions of Kaveri Delta and increased or expand his kingdom and achieved a great power. After that, the Pandyan and the Pallava territory to the south and north were made part of this kingdom. It means Pandya who were ruling, Pandya and Pallava both were a ruling dynasty who were ruling over the north to south, but Vijayala and his son conquered the ruling dynasty of Pandava and Pallava and his region also and started rule over there. It means we can say Vijayala and his successor expand his territory from north to south. After that, as I told you, Chola dynasty was very great dynasty and increased his power, which you can see in the map of India, which is given on page number 22. On those, Raja first was the very powerful and great Chola ruler and became king in 985 and also expanded control over the most south regions of South India. And he also recognized the administration of the empire. And Raja's son Rajendra I continues his policy whatever made by father to expand his territory. That's why Rajendra I also attacked or raided the Ganga valley and controlled over the region of Ganga. Finally, he had also expanded his territory till Sri Lanka and continued to develop or to expand his territory to the Southeast Asia region. For this, he made a navy to cross the ocean to conquer other part of the world. So my dear students, now you can understand on the basis of above example that how rulers were interested to expand their territory, not even India, as well as beyond the boundary of India. Alright, so for today's that's all. In my next explanation, I will discuss with you another next two topics: splendid temples and bronze sculpture, and agriculture, irrigation, and the administration of empire. Alright, thank you and have a nice day.